One way to experience this is to basically do in both arms and hands what Scott Tennant describes in the beginning of pumping nylon. And so before we jump into that and use that as an example, we're going to do some more body mapping. So first is what I call the shoulder to arm joint. The scientific name is glenohumeral fossa joint, if I remember correctly, but I find that's a bit technical and a mouthful. And shoulder to arm joint is pretty clear. It is the joint that connects your shoulder to your arm bone, and it's right here. And this joint is a ball and socket joint. So this is the ball, and so your arm has a ball at the end in it, and then the socket is in the shoulder, and so the ball goes into the socket, and that's what gives this joint this wide range of motion, as opposed to the elbow, which is just sort of like the drawbridge, and it just basically goes up and down. Now, they're basically a few movements of the shoulder, and they're in the document that I posted again as well. There's flexion, which is where you bring the shoulder joint forward, so nothing else in the arm is moving right now. I start by hanging at my side, and now gravity is just kind of forcing you into relaxed. This is flexion. Bringing it back down is either relaxation or extension. True extension would be, true extension is kind of both. Bringing it back to rest is also extension, but if you want to bring it behind, that would be extension. So you can kind of think of it directionally. Flexion is this way, extension is back this way. There is also abduction, which is where it goes out from the shoulder joint, this way. And there's abduction is out, adduction is in, and then horizontal flexion is coming across like this. And horizontal extension is going back. And then rotation is if I can show it this arm, it's where you kind of twist along the axis of the arm, or where you move in like this, and you can kind of see that it's rotating there. And that would be lateral rotation is going to go out, medial rotation is going to go back into the center. Then you have the elbow joint, which basically flexes and extends. That joint is right here. And then the forearm, and the science of this is not something we're going to get into, but you just need to know about it. So from the elbow to the wrist, and basically the whole hand follows along with it, there's the way that the bones and the muscles are set up in the forearm is such that it can rotate, and so you can go sideways. So right now at rest, if I hang it at my side and I bring it up, it's going to be like this. If I do supination, I'm going to hold it up, and as one of my students in my master's degree aptly put, you can hold a soup cup when you're supinated. And then pronation is when it's all the way down. So whether you want to hold it in the center or hold it up or fold it down, that's all a result of forearm rotation. And then whether you're fully up or fully down is supination up and pronation down. The wrist is a messy business, as we'll get into. So the wrist can do radial deviation, which is where you twist it towards the thumb. So I'm going to go from this angle. So where you twist towards the thumb, actually, let me look this up real quick. I should have the image here. Yeah. So radial deviation is where you don't go down or up, you just keep it relaxed, and then you go towards the thumb. Ulnar deviation is where you go towards the pinky. And then flexion is where you go down with the wrist, and extension is where you go up. All right, I had to redo the thumb video. I'm going to come from this angle so you can see the thumb directly on. I just got some terminology wrong. Couldn't find the same shirt I was wearing, so I'm wearing a different shirt. So the thumb at rest goes flexion towards kind of the center of the hand, and sort of underneath the fingers. It extends going out. And then it
adducts, which sort of brings it in towards the palm and the index, and then it abducts, bring it out from the palm and the index, and then it circumducts, which is kind of combining those into a rotation movement. And there's a move called, I forgot what it is, but it doesn't matter much to guitar, where you touch the pinky and the thumb. It's in the document, and I'm just going to leave it like that. And now, unfortunately, you're going to have a little jarring transition from the full video, which was all done in one take, and then out of this video that was to fix the thumb content back in the original video. So sorry about that, but as discussed in the interview, this is all low budget, or in the as discussed in the introduction, this is all very low budget, not the interview.
Now, for the fingers, we have the knuckle joint, we have the middle joint, and we have the tip joint. All of these joints can either extend going up towards the top of the wrist, or they can flex going inwards towards the palm. They can also do abduction, which is where they spread, and adduction, where they come back together, or even where you squeeze them together. And then circumduction, just like the thumb, is combining those to rotate, basically.